This is a live Channels television event.
Good afternoon and welcome again. You are live on Investing in the People of Nigeria, a conversation for a generation, brought to you by Budget. My name is Tolulope Adelaru Balogun, and right now we'll be bringing up to you one of the founders and the lead partner of Budget. But before that, let's also introduce that with us we have Mr. Joseph Agumbiade, who is one of the co-founders of Budget. Please, a round of applause for him. As we move on with the program, we will be having a keynote speech, and after that, a panel session. And we are looking forward to interactions from you, the audience out there. So if you are able to stream live, we are streaming on the hashtag Imagine Nigeria, as well as the Budget handle @BudgetNG. But as we continue now, I would like to introduce to you the lead partner and one of the co-founders of Budget, Oluseun Onigbinde. Please, a round of applause for him.
Thank you, Tolu. Thank you very much for coming today. We really do appreciate your presence here. I'm Oluseun Onigbinde, the lead partner for Budget. Our event today is called Investing in the People of Nigeria, a conversation for a generation. It's clear from the speech by Mr. Bill Gates, the co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, that Nigeria needs to put more investment in health, education, and most especially in the people of Nigeria. There was a quote that says we can have roads, we can have ports, but we can't scale that without investing in the skilled people of Nigeria. And we have some wonderful panelists today. And it's clear that also that if we put more money in education, in health, we will get the GDP of Nigeria to rise by a factor that we can't imagine. But what we have seen is politicians are more gyrated to invest more in roads, schools, and in things that would just look much more glamorous for the society. Now we are saying let's put more money in education, let's put more money in curriculum development, let's put more money in health, in infrastructure, especially at the primary healthcare level. That's what can actually change Nigeria and make us a better place to live. There's also some conversation about our domestic resource mobilization, that it is grossly weak. Nigeria's tax to GDP is less than 6%, with the worst in the world, worse than third countries like Afghanistan and South Sudan. And the conversation is that if we even move to Bangladesh, the second to the lowest in the world, we'll be adding $18 billion to our revenue model. And we have enough money to invest in Nigeria. There's also a conversation around transparency and accountability that reduce the leakages and also the gaps where also undermine public revenues. These are all the conversations we're having here today. And we have an amazing line of speakers for you, from Mr. Debola Williams, who I'll be glad to call to speak up next. Mr. Debola Williams he works with the Red Media Nigeria. He's a managing partner for Red Media Nigeria. He's an amazing guy, and I'm sure you'll be happy to listen to him. Mr. Debola Williams, the podium is yours. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you to the Budget team, led by Oluseun Onigbinde, for inviting me to speak to you today on a very important issue that for the last 13 years of my life, I have also worked in, myself and my partner, Chude. Without much ado, as the MCs will say, I will go straight into what I prepared to share with you this afternoon. If you invest in health, education, and opportunities, the human capital we are talking about today, then they will lay the foundation for sustained prosperity. If you don't, however, then it is very important to recognize that there will be a sharp limit on how much the country can grow. That was a quote from the world's richest man, Bill Gates, last week at the expanded National Economic Council meeting chaired by the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo in Abuja. Of course, many people would say that Gates' statement was an indictment on the government of today, and especially the economic recovery and growth plan it created. But you see, that should not be so. Rather, it should be taken as an objective assessment from an outsider who knows what it takes for human capital, for human beings to operate at their full potential, and how that segues into national prosperity and development. You see, the principles of holistic human capital development is not a new concept. It essentially is an ideology that a nation cannot fare well without the positive well-being of its citizens. Factors Mr. Gates broke down as health, education, and opportunities. Now, I agree totally with this comment, because as a teenager in 2005, myself and my partner co-founded the Future Awards Africa, a franchise to celebrate the ingenuity of young Nigerians and recognize their capability to do even much more when given the opportunity. Today, over 1,200 talented young people have been recognized and made shining examples in the country. 130 winning the awards and given opportunities. It's interesting that even Sheung Onigbide is a beneficiary of the award, and I think after the award was when he decided it was time to set a budget. That was what gave him that confidence. But this is not even close enough. With a large percentage of the population in Nigeria within 18 and 31, we have a powerful advantage over many nations across the world to harness the creative ingenuity of our people and lead globally. Currently, Norway, Finland, and Switzerland lead the pack in terms of Human Capital Development Index, according to the World Economic Forum Human Global Capital Index in 2017. The index assesses the degree to which countries have optimized their human capital for the benefit of their economies and of individuals themselves. It is based on 4 underlying concepts and is constructed using 4 sub-indexes. The guiding concepts underlying the indexes are captured by the choice of indicators and construction techniques used in its creation. 1, distance to ideal. The index holds all countries to the same standard, measuring countries in relation to a meaningful maximum value that represents the ideal. 2, human capital as a dynamic concept. By human capital, we're not referring to individuals themselves, but the knowledge and skills they possess that enable them to create value in the global economic system. Now, this requires investment both by the individuals, private sector, government of the day, and everyone across board. 3, demographic count. Now, the index takes a generational view and disaggregates indicators according to age groups. This allows for more targeted policy interventions and human resource planning. So a country like Nigeria that has the highest number of young people, then policies by the government of the day should be tailored more to its highest demographic in population. Now, out of these 4 underlying concepts, Mr. Gates is essentially particular about the last one, the outcomes in the labor market, not the input in terms of planning, policy making, or even capital allocation, which is something we are very good in Nigeria. We have invested 52 billion in education, but when we look at the schools, there are still no classrooms, there are still no chairs. Now, with the increase in budget allocation to capital expenditure and increased spending in health, in education, and several other sectors in the Nigerian economy, it is glaring